So we're joined today for Lamar Volleyball Media Day. We have Coach Ariel Apolinario and player Emily Moon. So, Coach, we'll go ahead and start with you. So, you come to Beaumont with experience from Navarro and a few other stops before that. What is it about the Lamar program that made it appealing to you for you to want to go ahead and come here and take the job?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having us. I think the main thing is just the chance to do something that we haven't done in a long time. I think that's kind of something that it kind of have been a thing throughout my career, also during my my college career as well. So it has always been something that it kind of have given me a reason to continue doing what I do. You know, it feels awesome being at the top, being there as well. Not gonna lie, that's kind of where we want to be. But definitely, it kind of gives you that little extra fuel to just get up every day and just continue putting your head down and just continue grinding. But winning at a place that hasn't won in a long time definitely was one of the main reasons why.
Yeah, as you kind of get in and try to inject, a team culture and figure those things out, what are some kind of building blocks that you want a Ariel Apolinario coach team to have and to be?
Leadership. I think leadership is at the top. And that's something that we have talked often from player 1 to player 18. And, another item that we have talked about, we are not going to select captains. The reason why is because I believe that from player 1 to 18, every single person has the ability to be a leader in their own way. And I think that's the most important thing. It's also going to be the one that is going to take the longest. But I believe that if little by little we take these opportunities and we continue becoming that person, I believe that the rest, it will become eventually easier and easier. But the leadership part of it is the one part that I want to continue emphasizing and just continue creating opportunities for them to lead.
For sure. Emily, we'll go ahead and switch over to you. So you're one of the sophomores who was spent your year 1, now entering your second year. What have been some of the biggest differences that you've seen just in the off-season and preparation between year 1 and then year 2 on campus?
Yeah, so as soon as Coach came in, I'd say the discipline, immediately shifted. Obviously a new coach is coming in, so you're going to want to impress, but I feel like we kept that impression all the way through, present from January when he came in or February. Yeah. But I feel like the discipline was a switch, and I feel like he implements so many little things, and I feel like the biggest thing for me is him saying, we're going to get it wrong until we can't get it wrong anymore. And that's, our biggest thing is, in practice, we work on things until we can't get it wrong. And until we get it wrong, we're doing it over and over and over again, and it gets repetitive. But that's his biggest thing is discipline and the discipline of all of it.
For sure. So, Coach, whenever you've come in and kind of looked at this team and taken kind of stock of what you have, what are some things, in off-season training or just in the players that you see that excites you for the upcoming year?
Yeah, honestly, I think that going through preseason and it's a version of what you do every preseason. There are some things that matter a little bit more than others, but the foundation is the foundation, and something coming into the Lamar program, we have some really nice pieces in place, and yes, from the outside looking in, it appears that there's a huge gap, and I'll be the first one to tell you we are not there yet, but we are becoming, and we're getting there slowly, baby steps, and I think that they also hungry, I'm sure that within the program, we are well aware that there was only one athlete from last year that decided to go to another school. Everybody else decided to want to do it, to want to stay here. And I know they went through a lot, and we definitely not spending energy on what happened last year. I think we have done a much better job as a lately than early on, but which is very natural. But the fact that they wanted to stay, the fact that they chose to stay, it was encouraging, to say the least. But we really have some nice pieces. I think that part of the job right now is to continue developing the people that we have right now, because they are the most important pieces right now. As much as we want to think about next year and the following year, we're just trying to stay present, and we have plenty of power in place to get it done. It's definitely going to be a long journey, and I think the one thing that we continue telling ourselves, you got to be patient, but we are encouraged with what we have and with what we've seen.
Yeah, you talk about developing talent and kind of working with what you have. It is a very young team with 16 players who are either freshmen or sophomores. What are some challenges that come with that? But then it also kind of seems promising to you as you move forward, trying to build a team culture.
Yeah, I think if we get it right, which I'm confident that we will, we can have a really good team for a really long time. I think that's one of the most encouraging part of this. But the key with development is just understanding where you are and where you want to be. And when you get a little better in some areas, you're probably not going to get as good in some other areas. I always said to get something, you got to give something. As much as you want to be great at everything, that's just unrealistic, But we're trying to prioritize some things that are going to give us the best chance right now, especially during the fall season. Fall season is about just the preparation, the competition, just moving on from week to week. And then once we get to the spring, we're definitely going to have a little bit more time to break down some things, especially habits, which again, we all know that either good or bad, habits is probably going to be the toughest part, to break habits, to become something else, or patterns more than anything else. But we encourage, honestly, what we've done. Our preseason went as good as it could have gone. Honestly, I honestly enjoyed the most that, hoping this is what, everybody was healthy. We had some minor setbacks, but everybody was healthy and ready to go. And it was pleasant, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. And then, Emily, so it's not often that as a sophomore you're kind of considered like a veteran of the team, especially with being a young group. How have you seen some of those kind of team dynamics play out, where all of a sudden some of you sophomores are kind of thrust into more leadership veteran roles?
So when I think of leadership, I think of my teammate Lyric Jordan. She was obviously second team all conference last season, and I look up to her so much because I feel like we push each other in that leadership role, and she's always been that person for me. And I see a bunch of my other teammates just stepping up because there are, how many freshmen are there?
We have, that's a good question.
Four or five? I think it's 5 or 6.
5, 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6, whatever the number is of freshmen. Love them, but whatever that number is, I feel like they've come in and we've really taken them under our wing, and the sophomores have really stepped up, and our juniors and our one senior and our graduate, Lauren. I feel like everybody stepped up into those roles in their different ways, and Ariel really says to us all the time that your job is to be the best version of yourself you can be. Don't try to be something you're not, and I feel like we morph more into that every day when we walk into the gym.
So, Coach, kind of on that note still of, it being a young team, how do you see in these kind of early preseason matches, how do you see that influencing kind of playing time as you try to figure out what you have with the team moving forward?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're going through right now. I think that the key is answering more questions than creating more questions in the process, and slowly we're getting there. We are not a finished product, not even close. But it's been fun. We had 3 Saturdays that we've been able to have an opportunity just to compete. The first 2, we kind of did that against one another. This past Saturday, we went out to Texas State, and that's a top 50 program. Just last year, they earned the large bid. They went to the national tournament, and I went in there and I told them to embrace it. Look around. This is fun. Honestly, it really is. We got the opportunity to celebrate with them. They just dropped down that banner, and it was fun. Even when it wasn't for us, I just hope that they took a little bit from that moment, because I've been there before, and it's so many bad moments that goes through that, the highs and the lows, and the hours, the amount of hours that you invest to get to that point. And now you get to celebrate that, So I hope that they were able to embrace it as much as I did. That was definitely the message going into it. And we saw some of the things that we got to continue working on. We got exposed in some areas, but honestly, we got exactly what we needed. We got information, and now we get 4 solid days of training before we go out there on the first weekend of competition. And, even when it was an exhibition match, I truly believe that we didn't really get to see the best version of what we have been in training. So in a way, it's encouraging in another way is something that we got to continue striving to be, just our best version. But all in all, it was exactly what we needed.
Yeah, as you look to kind of see, you're building something towards the future as you get going. What do you think will signify success for this team in year one?
And that's a great word. We have talked about that so much, and we have mentioned multiple times that the how we define success is it shouldn't be based on wins and losses. And just understanding the where we are as a program, understanding the who we are. But success is going to be, we talk about leadership. We talk about how we're going to represent the program, how we're going to represent the community. How we're going to treat one another. Understanding that we're all fighting for the job, but if you happen to be on the bench, your job is to be the best teammate that you could be. So it's all of these intangibles that goes into it. We talk about foundation culture. Which every program goes through the same thing, but. Don't get me wrong, we have a chance to win, we're going to go for it because that's the expectation. But we also talk about the goal, and the goal is to get better, and as long as we continue doing that, I believe that good things will happen.
And speaking of those goals, Emily, what are maybe some goals that you have personally for this year, but also that you see for the team having as you go on?
My personal goal, so Coach mentions this a lot, but he says, there's only 6 people on the court. There's 6 players on the court, and if you're not one of those 6, we have 18 girls on the team. There's going to be 12 girls on that bench every single game. And my goal is that to be the best player on the court if I'm on that court, but my goal is also, if I'm on the bench, to be that best teammate on that bench that I can be. Every single day, whether, I'm so thankful to be on the court, but if I'm not, then my job is to support. And it's my goal this season is to honestly, know and embrace the role that I'm given and be thankful for that role.
Sure. Anything either of y'all have to kind of add further?
Emily?
No, I got nothing.
No, but I do want to say just the support that we're receiving from the administration, and you mentioned early on one of the why were you here or what make you want to be part of the program. And without questions, just the administration has been so consistent, and they really want volleyball to be good again. And I believe that we will get there. So just really appreciate the fact that the support, the foundation is there in order for us to continue just getting better a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank y'all for your time. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.